Don, do you think proper surveying and mitigation strategies for badgers in the Hastings area, are they carried out properly, do you think?
It's not a question of thinking, the fact is they are not. There's whole numbers, quite a lot of sites where wildlife has been totally eradicated, and the surveys are carried out in such a way that the developer manages to persuade Natural England to give a licence where they should not have given a licence, to exclude badgers. The site's been completely cleared of all vegetation and areas where badgers can forage for insect larvae like cockchafer grubs. Everything's completely eliminated.
So what's the effect of that if they clear the land before? Don't the badgers just move on elsewhere? What's the effect of clearing the land?
Well, the point is the badgers are being pushed and shoved. Not only just badgers, you've got to remember if there's badgers there, there's all sorts of other wildlife. There are sometimes crested newts in the ponds. There are common lizards, especially in Hastings. Hastings is just an ideal whole of Hastings is absolutely ideal for common lizards and slowworms, and the police are not backing anybody up, and the law is not being enforced. The surveyors are not doing their jobs properly, and we can show people where that's happening. Badgers are being excluded and then being forced, even going into through people's cat flaps now to get food, stealing from cat bowls and things like that now. Crikey. On a regular basis, because they're getting so pushed and shoved, because you can't push and shove everything forever.
No,
because they've really got a choice now. Completely put all wildlife to sleep and done with it, or provide for it properly, which is what the council's 2004 borough plan, that is a law, because a Secretary of State passed it, that if you look on pages 119 and 120, you'll see very, very clearly Hastings Borough Council's attitude to wildlife. They're supposed to keep it to the 2004 numbers. The wildlife, natural, sustainable resources are supposed to be kept at the 2004 standard, and we're falling way, way below that.
How do they check the numbers? Do they monitor any of these sites?
No, that's something else that you might have mentioned, the way you've put it. The conditions the council put on sites, which looks marvellous on paper, are never monitored or reinforced or...
How do they know if it works then? How do they know?
They don't want to know. I don't think they do, because the Borough Planning Officer, Mr. Cookson, appears to be totally in favour of eradication by starvation.
Crikey. Oh,
and
that
is a fact. I've written to them several times, especially all wildlife complex.
Do they respond to your letters?
One line.
Really?
Yeah, they don't want to know. But since I sent them a copy of the Natural England Badgers and Development latest edition that came out in November 2009, and Mary Davies at St Saviour's Road has said, "Oh, I've put in a splash pond, Donald." I said, "What about the feeding? How are the badgers supposed to live while the development's taking place? Where are they supposed to go?" You'll have to look on the website to see how it's changed.
Oh, well, interesting.
Yes.
We're going to cover all these sites, I think. I'm going to ask you a question about each site in Hastings and how you think it's gone, basically. But that was very interesting. Thank you, Don.